bring it up, and if you squeeze too much at the end, you get a real thin rim at the end, so you got to let off a little bit. Now, to me, that's about the right size of cylinder for 1.5 pounds of clay. I do have a YouTube video of this too, if you want to look that up. But you can record it, I don't care.
I was just here over the weekend and I forgot everything you said.
That's okay.
So.
That's okay. That's why we're reviewing this. So at this point, I've got a cylinder. I'm going to take a little of this extra clay off right here, and I just call that cleaning it up, like that. And we can use that clay again. Then I want to use my metal rib. I like this big metal rib personally because it's big and rusty, but this is the metal rib you guys have. I'm going to use this big metal one, and I'm just going to smooth it out. There's two reasons for this. One is it aligns the particles, another one, it dries it off a little so we can lift it off the wheel. Now, we didn't measure this, but I think it's the right size. It's a little short, but I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I mean, it wasn't a huge piece of clay. I just want consistency, and that's why the first couple of cylinders you make, I want you to cut them in half to see if you're consistent. Let's see. I've got a wire tool somewhere here. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to cut it off. Now, all these things are what I want you to do. If you've been sliding your pots off, I want you to learn how to lift them off. Anything that's small, I want you to learn how to lift off. I'm going to dry my hands off. I'm going to tilt it forward like this, and then I can lift it off, okay? So you get a bat, one of these bats. If you want it to, if it's like the weekend and you want it to last a little longer, put it on the plastic side. If you're trying to dry it out so you can come back in on, if we have class on Monday and trying to come back in on Wednesday to trim it, just put it on this side. Anyways, that's what I want you to do. Make sure it's even on the top before you're finished, because if you finish it and it's uneven on the top, you're not going to be able to trim it. And really what I want you to do is cut them in half. The first couple you should cut in half. You got to evaluate it. And I think this is a little thick on the bottom because I added that extra clay, which you can see it's a little thick on the bottom. But that's okay. I could trim that off if I had to. The walls are pretty consistent. Okay. So after you learn how to center, your goal is to make a cylinder. Now, if you're making a cylinder, you can make just straight cylinders if you want, because we're going to use them for glaze testing. It's going to get you introduced to the glazing area with these cylinders. It's also